Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've done a video, but life happens, and I really needed to take a couple weeks to myself to deal with some personal things, and now I'm back, hopefully to catch up on my content. Here I'm gonna do a video, just going over some of the patch 5.6 stuff. I'll definitely get through a couple of these today. Just I'd like to do the multiplayer dungeon, the new weekly multiplayer dungeon. So I'll get to that and hopefully just go over some of the smaller stuff and some of the new content. I mean, it's sort of a first look, but we've seen most of this through the test server. So the main thing I want to look at here is the Titans, but I think that I might have to do this with the weekly multiplayer dungeon video, just because I think that's where I get the content for the materials for this stuff. So here by default I'm given a Guardian Shield, reduces damage taken by 90% for 2 turns, and I'm trying to, it says use 1 Wraith Stone or 45 Balins to train. I definitely don't want to use Balins, since I sort of need those for Knighthood talents. Combo is unlock Titans to learn more skills, drag Titan skills on the left to change this cast sequence. Okay, so combo isn't like a combination of things, it's more just in which order do your Titans cast. So these should cast automatically for you, I think 1 every single turn. So these are actually quite OP. Reduces damage taken by 90% for 2 turns, so that is very nice. So this is just another aspect pushing people into Knighthood, and if you don't have Knighthood, you're going to fall very, very far behind. So that's definitely a big goal for anybody within the game. So I'm trying to think of the best place. Maybe we can see. Maybe I'll do my multiplayer dungeon, and did I do it? No, I didn't. Okay, and so I can do my multiplayer dungeon and see if I can get these guys to. If I can get the Titans to trigger. Alright, so let's see if we can see the Titans. Alright, so here we are. Ilitan's Titan skill, Guardian Shield, reduces damage taken by 90%. Okay, so it's already cast. So I just did an auto attack, and the Titan casted. Oh, I have no rage. This is going to be really unpleasant. I should have used my rage rune at the beginning, but I'm used to having enough rage to deal with this and be able to cast a big skill. So a little bit of an adjustment there. So I didn't pay a lot of attention to what was going on down here. So, already cast. So when does it come back? I don't see anything in the cooldowns. So I think this is a one-time cast per battle. That's what it looks like. So probably right now it's going to cast. And there is my shield. So I use 1 skill, and then the Titan casts, and then whatever I decide to click on next is chosen. So there's definitely an order to everything. Typical turn-based game type of stuff. I imagine, I don't really want to cast a Guardian immediately in the battle, so it might be something where you have to get a lot of these and sort of figure out what order you want them into, and you might just use some of the less appealing Titans at the beginning to push back your Guardian until later. Or I don't know, a Guardian one would be great for people in things like in Chaos War, where there's tons of strong players and you need to protect yourself from the early AoE damage. So I'm not totally sure. I'm just gonna get through this. I don't think it's worth showing more stuff on the Titans here. So originally when I was recording this footage, I was talking a bit about Abandoned Altar, which is the new weekly MPD, and so that's good. I did do a video of that and saw everything. I had originally thought that it might be actually sort of difficult because the things that were posted on the blog by Cosmos about the bosses sounded like they'd be really tough, but actually it's a pushover multiplayer dungeon. So I'll show that and show the rewards and do a separate video on the Titan system and all of that, and the quest that there is for the Titan seals that will give Titan seals and whatnot. But I think the information that I ended up putting into this video for the first look is just so irrelevant at this point that I'm just gonna skip over it. So the other thing I can do immediately is some more Fate stuff. And so here, we know the Fate cap goes to 30 now, so the cost did go up. So for these levels, like this is one that I didn't get to 20 yet, and so these levels up to level 20 cost 408 stones, and then once we hit level 20, it costs 500 each level, so it's pretty expensive. And it goes up quite a bit, so now it's 700 for level, I'm at 21, so to go to level 22, it's 700, so I'm going to do these one at a time so we can keep track of this for the blog. So next it's 900, 1200, it goes up a lot, 1500, at least I have lots of these stones, 2000, 2500, 3000, 3500, 4000. Alright, so that cost a whole lot, but at least I managed it, so I don't regret how many Fate Stones I've saved up to date at all. Actually, that worked out really well. And for the other stuff, so I can up my influence. I don't have enough, obviously, for all the levels, but actually this is pretty doable, I think. I mean, it takes a lot. At the same time, I think the event chests are total crap lately, and so there might not be anything better for me to trade for other than to get some more of these beads of influence, since opening up the chests are not super beneficial to me, and it's very hard to, well, it's almost impossible to get the clothing or mount titles without a caching, which I have not really done at all. So anyway, we'll see. So I can get some more of these influence levels, and that's very good because it will up the amount of damage I can reflect, so that's very, very nasty. So I can only do 3 of those levels, but I think this is what I'm going to work on. And then tenacity, it's just tough. I mean, I didn't make it to 20 levels here. It's just, there's not an abundance of ways for me to get these tenacity stones or tenacity marks, and so it's sort of slow going there, so that's definitely going to take a long time. It's a little bit frustrating, but that's okay. It would help a lot in PvP, obviously, if I had some extra tenacity and intensity, and I would also get extra benefit from the knighthood skills if I could have that, or the knighthood talents if I could get that, but just can't do that yet. So nice and patient, and it's nice already to have the level 30 sniper's edge, so that will definitely help. So I really don't like the fact that my magical attack drops so much. That's definitely because of the clothing. So I guess I can go ahead. I was very particular about how I saved the clothing before the patch. I did save one of every level that I could manage, just so that I could show how much each one gives. Even though we did predict them, I think, accurately on the blog, it might be worth going over that. So we have this clothing engulf system. We now have just a single level that you upgrade for all 4 pieces of clothing, and so the starting stats for the mages give plus 1% MDef. I'm not sure if for the physical attack classes that's physical defense instead, but at least for the mages it's 1% MDef, even at level 1, which is the earliest level. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead through all these pieces. I have levels 1 through 10 for normal clothing and 1 through 10 for the wings. So I'll just go ahead, show those engulfing costs. So a level 1 piece of clothing is gonna give me 300, and so that doesn't quite give me one level. Level 2 is 600, 3 is 1200. So just doubles in value. So 4 is 2400. Level 5, 4800. Level 6, 7. Wait a minute. 6. Okay, looking good. There's a level 8. So just one of these pieces of clothing will probably get me farther than where I was on the test server. What do we do next? 9. And then we have 10 is going to give me 153k or so experience toward the engulfing. I'm really not sure what I'm going to do here. I mean, obviously I would like some initial rage. It's going to be really difficult to play in PvP or PvE for that matter, just anything without some initial rage. So leaving it at 0 at the moment, even though I like to wait for some events, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So level 1 wings is 1600, level 2, 3, 4, 5, got 6, and 7. So even level 7 is not quite up to what the level 10 normal clothing was. But once we get to level 8 wings, I mean, these are really pretty big pieces. There's the level 9, and where's the level 10? And so there's level 10. And I have 2 pieces of, well, I have 2 level 10 wings and a pair of level 9 wings. So really, I can get very far here. I forgot how much, you know, we do have the cumulative cost for these for all the clothing on the blog, and so I highly recommend that you check that out and see where you can get with the clothing that you have. You know, I don't know what's the best way to go about this. I'm not super inclined to use my big pieces of clothing yet, just because I have the volume of clothing in my mailbox is so enormous that I need to get rid of some of it. So right now I'm at 44 pages of mail, and I'm only allotted 50 pages of mail, and I've had to be really careful with how I'm sending things to mail, just because sometimes it overflows. You know, just if people are using myself for expedition and whatever, it just stacks up, and sometimes I need to go through it and claim some stuff. And here, so like everything in my mailbox right now is level 2 pieces of clothing, and I have a lot of them, like not just it's several hundred for sure. And okay, now we're going into my items, but previously I had 400 or so of these nocturnal costume packs, and I opened up a ton of them. I used as many cores on them as I could to make level 2 clothing, which is something that we had recommended on the blog, and so I wasn't able to use all of them. But right now I'm sort of inclined to use the stuff that's in my mailbox that takes up a lot of space. So using some of these lower pieces of clothing to upgrade my level a bit, and see where that gets me. So give me a moment to decide what I'm doing with all my stuff, and I'll get back to you guys. Alright, here we go. So I might not use these good luck charms just because it's an easy way to sort of store XP in a confined space, but I'll go ahead and use some of the smaller stuff, just whatever. Alright, you guys, so I'm at level 37, and as my initial rage is not good. It's not where I want it to be. I would really love more. Nobody's going to be excited about 22 initial rage right now. Previously, that would be, you know, very low level clothing pieces. So of course I could bump this up quite a bit, considerably, with the huge pieces that I have. You know, right now I'm sitting around 7,000 experience per level. And so that goes up by 200 at each level, and then once it gets to like a cost of 10,000 experience, I think it goes up by 300 each level, and I think eventually that bumps up to 400 each level. So the cost will get bigger, and the increase in the cost will get bigger as well. So I mean, I'm not sure how daring I'm feeling, so at the moment in the video, I'm not super up for that. So right now, I'm just going to be, in PvE, I'm going to be relying on my Rage Rune a lot. For PvP, I mean, it might just, I think everybody's going to be screwed in that respect, unless people really just go for it all and you know, put all their clothing into this already. So maybe later today I'll change my mind, or I'll do some dungeons and be so irritated with my initial rage that I just go ahead and use a bunch of my clothing. But right now, you know, I'm not in Warlords Hall for Class Wars this month, so I don't feel like a ton of pressure to do something crazy there or try and push for a win or anything like that. So I don't want to be overzealous, and I want to sort of take my time and see what's going on. I'm sure that at some point I'll cave with a little bit more clothing, but at least for now I'm going to leave it alone, because it is really a big pain in the butt to individually engulf each of these pieces. I have so many pieces of clothing, it's going to take me forever to do, so I'm just unwilling to do more of that in the video at the moment. But the reason why I stopped here is because my BR is starting to look reasonable now for what it is. So I had this main setup, I had my Frigga on, and my Oracle with just basically my highest BR setup for the kids and the sylphs. And before, when I had signed on, it was around 9.4 million or 9.3 million, something like that, and it seemed a bit low. Now that I've upped the percentage bonuses from my clothing, so here it's up to 5% for the attack and 4% for defense and HP. So now my BR is floating around something that I'm more used to. My dimensions aren't great right now, so even with those and everything, this BR looks about right. If I had my full dimensions and everything, I think I would be over 10 million BR right now, and so this is okay with me, at least for now. And my magical attack, of course, has improved greatly from just upgrading that clothing just a bit. So that's what I'm happy about. So otherwise, I mean, that's a rough adjustment. I think for people, you know, they're not going to be used to the initial rage. If you didn't invest in clothing a lot before, it wasn't a huge deal, and now I think you're really going to be suffering if you don't have high level clothing. So Eudemon Patrol, we can do real quick. I think this is such an odd addition. So I just have the base camp and one watchtower. So of course I'm going to put, so I think everything's level 10 on this part. So I'll just put my Oracle here, dispatch. And because it's a level 10 Eudemon, it does get quite a bit of XP, and so that should move pretty quickly. And then for this watchtower, dispatch the Eudemons. I don't know why there's, well, okay, just whatever, doesn't really matter. Start patrol, and do something for the upgrade. So that's all I can do, just leave it alone. And I've shown some of the, you know, on the test server what happens when you get higher levels. Should be fine. You know, I don't have a lot of Eudemons at the moment. I did sell a lot of them. So I only have these 8, and And so I guess I could try for the... Maybe it's worth trying for the Frost... you know what? I'll try for the Frostorf once I have a lot more Mark Shards, but at the moment I don't have a ton of them. And that will change very quickly because you get a ton of Demon Mark Shards from Patrol. So at the moment I can only exchange 3 times. I'll try and get it to the point where I can exchange for a ton and see if I can get the Frostorf, which is what I would really like. But you do need a lot of Demons for Demon Patrol, and you need to upgrade their gear and all of that stuff to meet the requirements. So it is worth sort of just stacking up kids. So of course after they give us a way to delete the kids, they put in some feature that makes it so that you need a ton of demons. So that's sort of a pain in the butt, but it is a good thing that you get some good shard income. So now it's not going to be as difficult to get the kids without having to use event chests. So I have a little bonus footage of me doing some more clothing. This is actually after Class Wars. Maybe even the next day. I forget when I did this, but I did decide to go ahead and get some more rage, just because it's absolutely too maddening in Dragon Invasion to not start with 30 rage. It's very, very annoying to not be able to cast one of those 30 rage skills at the beginning of my turn, and so I was like, this is too much for me, and so I went ahead and did some more clothing. So just whatever was in my bags at this point was going to go in, but I do keep an eye on things. I get to the point where I have 36 rage, and I was keeping an eye on some of the percentage bonuses, so I made sure that I think there were... I think I got to like a certain percentage bonus for HP, so all of them up to maybe 6%, 5 or 6%. Looks like 6, and so that was very, very nice, and just more pleasant in general now. I do think it's valid to just go ahead and do everything, but I'm saving up for now. Otherwise, small changes, game box. So we have fishing today. So we have fishing on Mondays and Thursdays. It's a Thursday, and we have Jewel Hunt Wednesday, Saturday, and Cloud Adventures Sunday, Tuesday, Friday. But otherwise, this hasn't really changed. Or actually, I think I saw Scoon complaining in chat that now in fishing, the high value bluefish at the bottom no longer is worth a lot. So let me just catch a... Let me see what's going on. Oh, that was dumb. Oh, so I only got 2 nickels for a yellow one. I'm not going to try super hard because it's going to take forever. But I think what happened is that they reset the rewards for the fishing. So now people who previously had really high level fishing are not going to be getting those super big fishing rewards anymore, which is a pity. So they finally... This is actually worse than it was before. So for people who had high level fishing, 1 day of the really, really good fishing attempts was actually better than 2 days of what the rewards are now. So that's not a good thing. Or sort of a pity for people who did have high level fishing. I wonder if they'll fix it later on. But otherwise, the other ones I don't think are going to make a huge difference. And one thing I am very surprised to see, a little casher thing, is that the Wheel of Prosperity is still here. I thought that this event, or this casher event, would be replaced with Artifact Roulette, and so that is something that we'll see in the future. It is part of the game, and the things that you could purchase in Artifact Roulette on the test server were ridiculous, or at least the will crystals were ridiculous. So I don't know if they're going to reprice those at all from the test server, but at least for now I am surprised that Wheel of Prosperity is still part of the casher events, so we're probably not going to see Artifact Roulette for what looks to be 7 days. I highly doubt that they would overlap an event like this with Artifact Roulette, but who knows, it's Wartoon, they can do anything they want. And hot events, you know, I haven't seen much difference here. It's just the beginning of the event, so it's sort of hard to call, you know, whether or not we're going to see any improvement there or see things get worse, which seems to be a trend lately. But otherwise, there you have it. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else that's worth mentioning at the moment? I mean, I think the big thing are the Titans, and the clothing. You just need to be careful. So you know, for Knighthood players, this is going to be the most interesting part to work on probably, and then for the players who aren't Knighthood and who are struggling the most, probably the clothing will make the biggest impact to your daily play. So these are all things that we're just going to have to figure out and see what's the best way to go. Otherwise, I don't think that anything is super high impact from this patch. You know, Gamebox doesn't make a huge difference, and UDemon Patrol also does. I mean, is like whatever. Maybe at higher levels, UDemon Patrol all of a sudden becomes really interesting. Well, not interesting, but like it'll be a bigger deal than what it is right now. But I've never quelled a mob or whatever it is in the test server, so I don't know what that looks like. Maybe on the main server I will be able to see that, but I just haven't done it on the test server yet. So we'll see. It should be pretty easy to level up the UDemon Patrol if you have level 10 kids. So you should put the level 10 kid into the upgrade area, and it should be fine. Otherwise, I'll have a toon overview within the new patch, and I'll also try and get a video of the new multiplayer dungeon, so we'll see that pretty soon, you guys. So thanks for watching. I'll definitely have more videos out very soon. So I'm going to be catching up on the PvP that I haven't shown yet, and then also showing some of the new patch stuff that I wasn't able to cover in the preview, and any sort of big things that happened with the new patch. I think clothing and the Titan system we're going to see more of in the future. So take care. Have a good day.